what happens when you put cancer into space? Interesting. So here's the thing. I think personally, this is all hypothetical because I am not putting any type of cancer into space, right? But if it's in the human body, I think it'll be different than if it was like removed from a person, put into some type of device that can hold it in place, right? It'll be much different in these two scenarios. So if it's in a human, I think that you're probably going to most likely get worse cancer if you go to space, right? Now, keep in mind, space is filled with all types of radiation that could potentially help with it, but I think that the microgravity itself would be enough to basically obliterate whatever part of your body that cancer is attached to. I think so, at least, based off of like just logic, right? Now, there are all types of things that could be learned from this experiment, though. I mean, like what type of radiation, or even if solar radiation or cosmic radiation have the ability to shrink, right? If microgravity was not an issue here. So I'm definitely interested in seeing what this is about. If you guys are, stick with me. We'll go ahead and check this out and hopefully come up with an answer by the time this is done. But again, my main concerns would be expansion. Based off of gravity, but specifically if it's inside of a human body. I wouldn't be a person like an astronaut with cancer going out of space. That's not a good idea, bro.
This is cancer in space.
We said, well, what happens if you send full-blown cancer into space? Will cancer go crazy? Which it did.
The cancer hitched a ride on a mission to the International Space Station, and it was sent there by scientists because cells and cancer react very differently when they get to space.
If we send these mini tumors into
it's expanding
space, they triple in size in just 10 days, and it would take 10 years to see that on the ground. So cancer becomes unhinged in space.
It's believed that the weaker gravity acting on cells up in space, known as microgravity, is the main culprit.
Cancer is really trying to form its own organ or tissue, and it is invading and metastasizing, spreading to other areas. In other words, unrestrained by normal tissue boundaries. And that's what we see in microgravity.
But while cancer develops in warp speed in space, it also means scientists can experiment with possible treatments equally rapidly.
That's the important
and they've honed their focus on a specific gene called ADAR1.
ADAR1 has been on our radar for about a decade as a cause of cancer's capacity to be able to come back by cloning itself and evading our immune system.
And that's why cancer is absolutely evil. That is. If you wanted to know why people say F cancer very loudly, it's because of that. Because, like, bro, you can get almost all of it out of you. Okay? And then what happens? It just comes back by cloning itself. Guys, that is crazy. All right. And then imagine this actually happening to you in real time in space by the third day you're in the International Space Station, for example, and you're scheduled to be there for a couple more months. That's not going to work. Right. That'll absolutely be terrible for that person experiencing it.
Gene gets switched on when cells are under stress and has been linked to about 20 different types of cancer, especially when cancers become resistant to therapy.
So we were testing if it gets turned on, can we turn off that cancer cloning gene with a drug? If we genetically knock down ADAR, does that block these little mini tumors from cloning themselves? Which it did, and we think we found a cancer kill switch. So
what happened? Let's
continue. If we can block ADAR, we can prevent cancer from cloning itself.
Right.
The scientists believe they may well have found a way to target this ADAR1 gene through a drug called rebexinib.
Just make this right here not cost $1 million a pill, okay? Because it will not be $1 million a pill in every other country around the world, just the United States of America. Keep that in mind. But just make sure that does not cost that. And is it something that has to be taken all the time, or is it just a one-time thing, one and you're done? If that's the case, it can be a little bit more expensive, right? Just not $1 million, okay? Not $1 million. This has the ability to save lives, and this is what we've needed on this planet since the beginning of time. So if this does work, make it affordable for the love of humanity. Please Make it affordable.
We're able to shut down that ADAR gene and prevent its capacity to get these little mini tumors to clone themselves, or in other words, grow in the bioreactor. So that's what we saw on this mission.
But it's not just the cancer cells being studied. It's also the astronauts themselves.
So this is a uniquely talented but also committed group of scientists that are willing to not just help you do the experiment. They're actually part of the experiment. They're giving their blood so we can get their stem cells to see how they responded to that spaceflight.
But before we get too carried away, this drug is still far from being available for treatment on humans here on Earth.
We're trying to get into clinical trials before the end of this year because there are patients that I'll see today in clinic that already need this. We need that kill switch for cancer. We need to stop it in its tracks before it blasts off. And so rather than being frustrated on the ground, we're getting really exciting new solutions that we're discovering from space.
Bro, I'm happy. Absolutely. Because I may not look absolutely happy right now, but based off of this information, if they did find what actually causes cancer cells to clone themselves and get bigger and bigger, then clone themselves and get bigger and bigger, right? I mean, that'd be a great thing, right? All you have to do is take the pill. Again, hopefully it's not a lifelong pill, right? Just that would be really beneficial if it was just like a one and you're done, right? Type of thing. But if you can find a way to stop the cancer cells from cloning and then just remove said tumor, you have your life back. You do. You have your life back. This is genius. Absolutely. This is why we pay people the big bucks. Right? This is why they get money. This is why these people here should be the actual superheroes, right? The ones that are actually moving the world forward, pushing it forward, succeeding in coming up with these type of things that have the ability to help the masses, not for the selfish needs and desires of the commercial company that most likely is about to come in. Is going to come in and be like, wait a second, hold on, we can get $500,000 to $1 million or more from the insurance company if you don't cure it. And all these people have it based off of the toxicity of just living in the United States of America and eating food that grows here, right? Look, see all these obese people? I'm one of them, right? You see all these obese people that put nothing but toxicity in their body? They're going to get cancer one day. And you know what? We'll make more money keeping them sick than actually curing them. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, all right? But I'm just pointing out the fact that this is absolutely amazing, okay? That's it, okay? Right. But all right, listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is this a viable option? Does it sound like one? It does. It absolutely does. It excites me listening to the science of this. But all right, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.